This is WXOJLP Northampton, 103.3 FM, your Valley Free radio station. Welcome. I'm Warno Desgillette, and this is A Baha'i Perspective. A Baha'i Perspective is a weekly radio program that interviews folks who have lived by the principles of the Baha'i faith. If you want information on the Baha'i faith specifically, you're welcome to go to the website www.baha'i.org. That's BAHAI.org. Or you can call the toll-free number 1-800-22-UNITE. Today I'm playing an interview I recorded with Minoo Moghaddam, a Baha'i from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, who escaped Iran with her family after the Islamic Revolution. I began our interview by asking Minoo where she grew up and what was it like growing up there.
I was born in Tehran, Iran. Tehran is the capital city of Iran or Persia. February 1953. Actually,
you're my age.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I was born in June 23rd, 1953.
Oh, wonderful. So that's great.
Yeah.
Kind of like
we're
I feel
compatriots.
Yes. So we understand each other better now.
Yeah, right.
And when I was about around 7 years old, my father was in army. My father was he was start his job when he was 18 years old. Mm-hmm. And then he became colonel and in the time of the Shah. But anyway, because his job required, we were tossing from one city to another city, going because of my father's occupations job required. And we went from Tehran, we went to the north of Tehran, close to almost border of Russia. If you see the map of Iran, in the north is Russia, and Tehran is a little closer to the north, but we went to the farther north to call it Rezaiye. And then, unfortunately, when we went there, my oldest sister got sick and she got cancer, and she got cancer, and we had to back to Tehran, and she died in Tehran. And we stayed there for 2 more years, and then we went to Isfahan. Isfahan is in a city in a center of Iran. I was raised in a family, both my father's side and my mom's side, both they were Baha'is, and I was born in a Baha'i family. My mom is actually my mom. I am the 4th generation in my mom's side, but my father's side, I'm the 5th generation. But in my mom's side, it's interesting that my great-grandfather, my mom's grandfather, was born in one of the most fanatic city, in one of the most fanatic city in Iran, called Ardabil.
Again?
Close Ardabil.
Okay.
Ardabil is the city close to Tabriz, the place that Bab murdered.
Okay. The Bab being the forerunner of Baha'u'llah in the Baha'i faith.
Yes. And the station is like a John the Baptist to Christianity. And so my grandfather was mullah, had high clergy in Islam religion. And he was Ayatollah. Ayatollah means someone in a mosque and say a prayer in the front, and everybody else standing behind him and say the prayer. So he was like a high station of the mullahs. And one of the Baha'i was visiting Ardabil, actually stayed for 2 years in Ardabil and met my grandfather. And they start the conversation, and then he find out that he was a Baha'i, And in the beginning, he was very, when you become fanatic, you become very prejudiced.
Okay.
And he was very prejudiced, and he started, arguing and telling that he was wrong. But the friendship started from beginning, and he felt that he could not, because he felt that he was very comfortable talking to him. He felt very loved by him. So he got very impressed, and so little by little his prejudice is vanishing, and he start open his heart and see with eye of just.
Now, what was the relationship between the great-grandfather and the grandfather?
No, he's my mom's grandfather. He's my great-grandfather.
And then who was the other?
The other one is just the Baha'i.
I see.
Baha'i was visiting from Tehran. Actually, he got a job in Ardabil, and he went there for 2 years. And they saw somewhere, I think, in a mall, not mall, in a bazaar. We call it bazaar, a place of the stores. And when he started finding out that there is a new religion called Baha'i, and when your heart is open, it's hard to go back to your before how you were thinking. So little by little, he knew that's dangerous. He was a mullah, and it was dangerous for him to seek and go to something that is against his religion. His religion that Muslims feel Muhammad sealed the prophet, and for him was contradictory to understand and see. But he was saying to my mom, to my grandmother, that he could not stop that. Something was coming to him. So he investigated the faith for 2 years, and then finally he could not stop it. He said, "I'm a Baha'i." And then when he became a Baha'i, in Muslim religion, you could have 4 wives, and he had 4 wives. But and then financially he could have 4 wives. And when he became a Baha'i, he found out that no, you cannot have more than 1. So, and he loved all 4 of them. So he went to them and he said that, why, I'm a different person now, and I cannot have 4 wives. I can have just 1. So, and he said, you decide which one you're going to go. I cannot do it. You guys do it. And then the youngest wife was pregnant, and she stayed. The 3 of them left. When the other mullahs and clergy find out the mosques that he used to go there, and they find out that little by little he's not showing up, he's not practicing the Muslims. So the rumor started that he left the faith, Muslims' religion, and they were saying that, oh, he's evil, he's a Satan now, and they decided to kill him.
Oh my God!
And they did. They did finally in a mosque. They had long meeting. After long meeting, they decided, the rest of them, that they have to kill him, because otherwise he become dangerous, because he was very, very well known, and he was very he had so many fans that people loved him, and they're afraid that if he be alive, people gonna go find out what is this Baha'i, and he become a Baha'i. So the boy that was working for them to bring tea, what you call it, about like a 17 years old boy was working in a mosque, and bus boy.
Oh, okay.
Call it bus boy.
All right.
And they told him it was in month of Ramadan. They said, you are fast, and this is the month of Ramadan. If you want to go to heaven, you have to kill Amin al-Ulama. So they made him to go and kill him, and he did. He went and he murdered him. And so my mom's side is my grandmother was the only child of him. Later on became a Baha'i. And he had 3 more brothers, but they didn't become a Baha'i because they felt that it's not easy to become a Baha'i. And but my grandmother, she had 4 daughters and 1 son. So one of them is my mom's. And that time, my father was born in Shiraz, in the south of Iran. And when it was World War II, when my father they sent my dad as a Morseist. He knew Morse.
Oh, Morse code?
Morse code. And because he was very good on it. So they sent him to the north of Iran because the Russian was coming from Russia to Iran. So, and they gave him this job that he had to go in Ardabil and, have his area and do the Morse code during the war. And he was Baha'i because his father and his mother both were Baha'i, and then my father was the second generation at that time. So he went there, and so of course when he went there, he asked for the Baha'i family. And then my grandmother was the only family Baha'i in Ardabil. So he went there and he met my mom, and they married. Mm-hmm. So, and then I'm the third actually child. The first child died as a cancer, and the second one is my older brother. I'm the third one, and I have two more. One lives in Vermont, Burlington, Vermont. Another lives in Springfield, Massachusetts. So I was raised with a strong belief, and I remember I always was very proud that what I was believing, because when I was raised in Iran, just imagine the majority of the Iranian religion is Muslim Shia, and the Shia is a religion there, and they treat non-Muslims as a stranger, saying the Baha'is are not legal in Iran. They're still thinking the same way, as you see and you hear that the Baha'i are persecuted in Iran. But I was always knew why I was Baha'i, and I was practiced as a Baha'i, and the Baha'i believes in oneness of humanity, oneness of religion. And when I was a kid, I was saying, why these people think they're better, but nobody's better in the world. If we are all equal, and that their diversity brings beauty to the world. And and I'm never shamed at what I was. And I always, whoever was first time meeting, said, I'm a Baha'i. I believe in this. I believe in oneness. I believe equality, man and woman. And that gave me power as a woman in Iran. And when I was a child, I always was picked on because I was a Baha'i. And but later on, when they start knowing me, they start liking me and love me, because they knew that my intention was pure love. I was taught that I have to love everyone as equal. So, and everybody is my brother, sister. So I was treating people like that. And but sometime I was stepping in the classroom, I see in the board that they were disrespect my religion. Right behind me, something swear against my prophet, the Baha'u'llah and the Bab, and make fun of me. And one day I came in and I saw the board that it was something like swear to what I believe. And I got very upset. I stand up front of the class and I said, I want whoever wrote that, come step in. I think this person needs to be more explain that why this person did that, because this is my belief. And I just want to see why this person did this job. And nobody showed up. And my teacher came in and I said, I'm not going to stay in this class anymore until I find out who wrote that, because this person has a big problem and I have to solve it with him. So nobody said anything. I said, I'm not going to stay here. And I went to the principal office and I said, I want to come to the classroom and clear this up for me, because I think whoever wrote this had a big problem with the hate. And I want to face with nobody's front of me, behind me they do it, and I want to see who is this, needs to be understood. So at the principal looked at me and said, you're such a strong woman, you're not afraid, your religion, or you're a minority, and you're most hated by Muslims. And I said, no, why I should be hated? I love everybody everybody. How come they hate me? And that was, for me, was very unreal. And I could not understand. And then principal came and said, please stop that. And so after that time, nothing happened. The rest of my high school went smooth. Actually, I got so many friends that I've never had it, because the courage I had was very... So I'm so proud of this. And little by little, the environment of Iran was changing. I think these fanatic idea and these mujahideen, the way they're thinking right now in Iran is a layer of the very fanaticism that is start to grow since 1960 in Iran, and then grew little by little, and now is, as you see, is a threat to the world, unfortunately. And the Baha'i community tries so hard to make it different, but another threat that this layer of hate was growing was the threat. They felt Baha'is are threat to them, because Baha'is believe of oneness of religion and unity in diversity, and they didn't want it. The level of the hate is growing.
Okay.
It's very ugly there.
Okay.
And it's spreading around the world. And they're against whatever bring people together. And they don't like it. They don't want... The only way is the Islam way, Muslim way. And that's not right. And the Baha'is, we are thinking different from them. That's why we were very hated by them. And in 1973, before I go to that, after I finished my high school, I met my husband. He is a very far relative on my father's side. He's a fourth cousin.
I didn't understand what you said. He's the one?
He's the fourth cousin, my father's fifth cousin. It's a very far relative.
Okay.
Relative. And so I met my husband, and so we married. We got engaged and we married. And 1974 we married. And 1975 I had my son. But in 1979, a revolution, the Islamic Revolution, happened in Iran. And Iran, they sent Shah, the king of Iran, so he went into exile. They sent him out. Like, they didn't want him. They threw him out. And Ayatollah Khomeini came. And we know as a Baha'i that it's the persecution is going to start. But we knew that we have a mission. The mission that we had in Iran was to be strong and to spread the message of Baha'u'llah. But we were praying very hard. We knew that difficult times is coming ahead of us. And my husband used to work, was working that time in an oil company. He was a chemist, and he was working chemical company. And when the revolution happened, I had my second child, my daughter, Shaghayer. But right away after the revolution happened, my husband lost his job. And he wasn't the only Baha'i who was losing his job. After the regime changed to fanaticism, I call it fanaticism, and all the Baha'i, they start losing their job, and they try to make a recant of fate. Recant our fate. And they could not do it, because the Baha'is... See, the Baha'i is not a religion, it's a faith. It's something that is within you. So you believe it. So something you believe, how you cannot recant it. And that's why about 300 Baha'i martyred. We call it martyred because they died for their faith. And the only crime they had was they were Baha'i. The only crime. But they were aiming to the Baha'is, that they were they were member of a Baha'i assembly, or they were Baha'i teacher, teach the
Baha'i
Baha'i
assembly being the governing council of the locality.
All the whoever teaching the Baha'i children. And they were saying that they try to stop the fundamental of the faith, of the Baha'i faith.
What do you mean to stop the fundamental of the Baha'i
They
faith?
were thinking that if they kill the people that
We're at the top.
in the top, or they're more active,
Right.
they can kill the
faith
ideas
itself.
and the faith.
Okay.
But they were wrong, big wrong, because the Baha'i faith grew faster, actually. And because people were saying that these Baha'i are most peaceful people, but they are under so many tremendous persecution. But same while that they were persecuted, they were still peaceful. They never raised against the regime or against the government, because Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, teaches us that we have to obey the authority of the place that you're living. And they knew that we are the most innocent people in the country. But they felt so threatened by the Baha'is, because people were, as much as the hate started to grow faster, the love of the Baha'i grew same time among the Iranian people. So my husband was very, he was working. I was a housewife because I was raising my kids. My son that time was about 4 years old. My daughter was 2 years old. And but my husband, since the regime changed, he was the head of the engineering in his department. And then the president of the company asked my husband to his office. He said that if you deny your religion, I can give you the best job, like vice president. You can become vice president of the company, but you have to deny what you believe in. My husband said, no, thank you. You can have that job or give it to somebody else. But you're asking me to lie. You're asking me to deny who I am. I am who I am. And how you can sell your belief and your heart to material, to money, or to positions. So I was very proud of him, what he answered. And I supported him 100%. So he lost his job. We bought a house in the beginning. When he got the job, we bought a house by the bank. The chemical company bank loaned us some money. So when he lost his job, they want their money back. Within 10 days, they said, whatever we loan you, we want it back.
Do you think that was also because you were Baha'is?
Oh, yes, of course. Of course, they were pressuring Baha'is, giving them like a hell life to become Muslims. And I cannot believe at this time of age that some people think that you can force people to become. And my husband lost his job, and within 10 days we had to give the loan back. Thank God we sold the house within 10 days. We gave their money back. And my husband started doing some business, personal business, start doing it. Because wherever he was going, they were asking first, what's your religion? If you're Baha'i, sorry, you don't have job. Or if you're Baha'i, they don't rent a home to you. Some people that they were in a part of the regime, they hate. But some other Iranian people, they loved Baha'is. Actually, they want to associate with the Baha'is, but they were afraid to show because their life could be in danger too. So we sold our home, and he started his business. And I was, as a woman, And I was raised as a Baha'i that men and women are equal. And it was so difficult for me to see that the women are like a secondary people in the country. And they were treating women as nobody. And they were bringing them down, and even they were making them to cover their hair, cover their body, because they were saying their hair, the woman's hair is sin. And if a male see the woman's hair, they become what you call it?
Aroused.
Aroused. And it was so funny and so ridiculous to think that way. And I was, as much as I could, I was stood and talked and answered them back. I was trying not to follow what they want from a woman, from me. So that's why I was getting in trouble a lot. Wherever I go, I was going shopping, and or I was driving. People, especially other women, was approaching to me and said, "Cover your hair," or the way you're doing it is not good. You make men. What you call it? Lose control.
Right.
And I said, it's too bad. It's their problem, not my problem. Yeah. God created my hair created as men's hair. So how come their hair was shown, but not mine? So I was always in trouble. One day, actually, I was going to get my prescription from pharmacy, and I was using lipstick. And when chador passed my face, and another woman was standing by me, saw my lipstick, and came to me and said, "I'm sorry, my vocabulary." I said, "You look like a whore. You're wearing lipstick." And I got so upset. I could not. I said, if I not said something, that I'm gonna die. I have to answer this back. So I went back to. I said, "No, chastity is not what you are from outside. Chastity, something is inside of you. And you don't know who I am? How dare you talk like that to me?" And he said, "Oh, I think you look like you are a Baha'i, because the way you're answering, you are a Baha'i. I bet you're a Baha'i." I said, "Yes, of course I'm a Baha'i. I'm proud of what I am. I'm proud to be, to see the truth and not to cover it." And after that, she started calling other military, the guard, the military guards that they're running the country right now, and they were female. She started calling them to come and arrested me. And then for 1 second, I said, "Oh my God, what I'm doing. If they take me, nobody can find me, because so many people disappear like that." And I said, "Oh my God, my kids might become motherless." So I said I should run away. I should run. And thank God my car was very close to the pharmacist. So I started, remember, it was a hallway, a long hallway. To me, it was the longest hallway ever. And I started to run, and here people were running behind me, and they were coming, getting me. And they were calling that, "Stop that woman. That woman is against the God. That woman is Baha'i. This woman should be stopped." And I was saying, "God, please help me out, help me out." And then I started running so fast. And until I get to my car and locked my car right away. And they tried to stop the car. They couldn't. I turned off the engine, and I went as fast as I could. I went home, and I told my husband, "You know what? We have to leave the country. If I stay here longer, I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be in prison, or something going to happen to me, and I don't want my kids lose their mothers." So my husband felt the threat, felt that this life become dangerous, more dangerous. So we decided to leave country. But how? Because they don't give us passport. That time in 1983, still actually just 5 years ago, start giving passport to Baha'is. But The Baha'is, they didn't have passport because they were denied as a Iranian resident. And they were calling us that we're illegal, living in the country illegally because we are Baha'is. So we didn't have passport.
You were living in your own country illegally. That's the way they put it.
Yes, yes, still us. It's like if we were hostage and no passport, nothing. My husband said, how are we going to leave the country? How? I said, let's escape from country. And he said, you're asking me the most difficult things that I hear. We might die in a border because we heard so many people died when they were trying to flee from that horrible place. And I said, I'd rather die in a border than die here little by little. When I was thinking that how I'm going to raise my kids, how I'm going to raise my daughter there, it was very painful. It was very painful. I said, my husband, you know what? If you don't come, I'll go. And he said, no, definitely I'm going to come, but we have to find a way that we can do the least danger. So we knew a person was living in a border of the country that he loved Baha'is, and he was a native around Pakistan area, Afghanistan, Pakistan area, and he loved Baha'i. He was Muslim, but he loved Baha'i, and he said that he wants to do service to the Baha'is, help them, leave country.
Wow!
But he was charging a lot, so we paid about. That time, about $12,000 we paid him to help us to flee from Iran. So it took about 6 months that we prepare how we're going to go. But he told us we just have to take just one suitcase with us because if we were taking more things with us, like a more suitcase or more belonging, the government and the people that they were in the border or the people around the airport couldn't understand that we are planning to flee or something. So from Isfahan, he said we should fly to Tehran, and from Tehran we took a minibus to the border of Pakistan, actually closer to between Pakistan and Afghanistan. So he decided to help us to go. Meanwhile, we were getting ready to leave country, but we kept this very secret, very, very quiet. Only my parents knew that we were doing it because we didn't want to get in trouble in the time that we were, escape from country. But my son was in second grade that time. And he came home, he said, Mommy, they asked me that not to go to school anymore. And they asked me, what's your religion? I said, my parents are Baha'i, but I'm 7 years old. As a Baha'i, I have to think until 15 and then find out what religion I'm going to choose. And then I told them, when I become 15, I'm going to choose to become a Baha'i. Because Baha'i doesn't hate anybody. Baha'i loves everybody. But you're asking me if you're Baha'i, don't come to school. I don't want to become like you. Definitely when I become 15, I'm going to become Baha'i. Because I don't want to become like you. You're telling me you don't like me because I'm a Baha'i? And he started to cry. Mommy, why they are like that? Why they don't like me? I said, these people only see one way. And they are very selfish. And so those stories was very painful that I was going through. Or sometime I was going to the market to buy grocery. They were denying selling fish, chicken, or anything. They were saying, oh, you're a Baha'i. We're not selling anything to you. So those kind of things, just the pressure was coming left and right to the Baha'is. And some Baha'i, like my family, we left. We escaped from country. But some Baha'i, they believe, no, they have to stand up. They have to stay there. And they have to stand for their rights. Although they don't get the rights, but they believe they will get one day. And they teach by staying in Iran and teaching to other people about oneness, about equality, about that men and women are equal, or we have only one race, that human race. That's beautiful, and they stay. But some of them, they lost their job. About 300 Baha'i up to now lost their job. They murdered.
Lost their lives, you mean?
I'm sorry, their lives. Also their job too, but their lives is... Just imagine you lose your life to what you believe. It's very honorable. It's very honorable because this is very strong that you even lose your life. Job, okay, you lose your job, you do another job. But losing your life, but you're not lying to yourself, and you strongly believe, and with that belief you teach other people, is effective. That's why since the revolution happened in Iran, the Baha'i came out from obscurity. Now around the world they know who are the Baha'is. They gave their lives, but now look at the love that these Baha'is sending message is very broad. It's very spread around the world. Some of these Baha'is, they lost their job, was very close friend of me.
Lost their lives, you mean, again?
I said lost their lives, was
close to you.
Close to me. One of them was actually was Mona. Mona was the youngest.
What is her full name?
Mona Mahmoud-Nejad. She was born in Shiraz, and she was 17 years old when she lost her life, and she murdered. She was arrested with her father, and
now, how was it you were close to her? It's just
a family friend.
Family friend,
very
yeah.
family friend,
Okay.
and she was 17 years old when they murdered her. They gave her a very hard time to recant her faith, but she didn't. She was a Baha'i teacher that time, and
you mean teacher of children.
Teacher of children. She was teaching the virtues. She was teaching the oneness of religion. She was teaching other kids that respect everybody's religion, and she lost her life because of that. Just simply because she believed what she believed. And the other two was my uncles, my aunt's husband. He was about 60 years old, and he was a teacher. He was a high school teacher, and he had a Baha'i meeting in his house, and they came. They arrested all 9 Baha'is, and all 9 of them murdered. All 9 of them, after 9 months persecution, they lost their lives. Another one is my aunt's brother-in-law, and he was a Baha'i scholar, and he was very loved and adored by Iranian. Most people knew about him, and they were looking for him, and he was running away. He wanted to become arrested, but after 6 months, they found him and they arrested him, and he went under tremendous torture and execution. And his name was Kamal Agha Bakhtabar, Mr. Bakhtabar. And he was a scholar. Actually, he requested to be in a court, and he requested to be questions, because these Baha'i, they just without any due process of the law or court, they were executed. But he, because he was very known by people, and everybody was hearing what he was saying, they could not hide that. So he requested to be in a court, and he requested to have a microphone outside the court to people to hear. And meanwhile, he was, what do you call it when you're during the court?
There's questioning and answering.
Yes.
The questioning of him.
Of him, he was telling that who are the Baha'i were and what he was believing in, and his.
So they agreed to this situation. They agreed to have a microphone, and
they agreed because they put him in. He put them in a position
where they couldn't
that
refuse.
it was so many witnesses that they could not hide that. So.
So he had an opportunity to defend his faith and his position.
Yes, his faith, and he did such a strong teaching situation, and so many people they wanted to become a Baha'i, but in Iran, whoever become a Baha'i, they're executed right away, without any arrest or anything. You do have the right to kill.
An individual has the right to kill another Baha'i?
Yes.
Without prosecution?
Without prosecution, they could be died. So that's why right now, I heard about 2-3 million Iranian, they're ready to become a Baha'i. If regime change, they want to sign, they want to become a Baha'i. But Baha'i, they don't let them to become a Baha'i because of their lives. But,
so you're saying the Baha'i faith in itself is discouraging Iranians to declaring themselves as Baha'i simply because they don't want them to get hurt.
Yes, to get hurt, or they lose their job, or their lives, or they get arrested,
or even
because they have family. It's they don't want it to cause of the hurt or difficulties. But they are Baha'i. They know themselves as a Baha'i.
They're Baha'is in their heart.
In their heart and their action. Their action. They feel that they are Baha'is, and they rather to influence other people's life and their hearts, and they spread the love around the country. As you hear in the news right now, is this very difficult situation is going in Iran, and there's very minority people are in a power that they're running the country. But the majority of Iranian, they are wonderful people. They are very lovable, and they love peace. They love Baha'is. They don't want to hurt other people, but they are hostage in their country, like Baha'is. And so when we left Iran, we escaped from Iran, was very difficult. We knew that we're going to go through difficult time. But my husband and I, we had mission. We had the mission to leave the country and to send the message of the Baha'is to the world, that how the Baha'i are difficult, live in the country, and send their difficulties to the world, and to bring some justice. And we try just to send the message of Baha'u'llah to the world. And that was my husband and myself's mission, to bring my kids in a Baha'i view, Baha'i atmosphere, to bring them up and raise them as a strong believer of Baha'u'llah, and to love everyone, and to be without any prejudice. That is killing the world right now is the prejudice, all kind of prejudice, sexism, all kind. And thank God they become a good kids. When we came to Pakistan, for 11 months, because we didn't have a passport, we were deciding to come to America, because my brother used to live here. So we were thinking to come to America. But because we didn't have a passport, we had to stay in Pakistan to come out with like a travel document, something that we had to have to come to other country. And so because we were Baha'i, United Nations helped Baha'is all around the world, especially Iranian Baha'is, help them to settle in the places they want to go. We came to this country, we started our lives. Thank God we came to Springfield, and my husband started his job that he used to work in Iran, the chemical company. He started his job in Monsanto chemical company. So we started our life in Springfield. And our kids, we used to go to school, and also same time they were going to Baha'i school. So when we came here, it wasn't any Baha'i school, but I called one of my friends, and she had 2 kids. I said, let's start the Baha'i school right away. So with 4 kids, we started the Baha'i school. Now it's grown after 20 years to very large Baha'i school that we have. It is about 90, 80 students we have. It's coming. So my kids raised with the spirituality, to believe in God and believe on oneness of humanity, and they became a very fine kids. My son graduated from Boston University, and he's an engineer, and he's getting his MBA from Babson University, and he married 3 years ago. And he's working. He lives in Boston. And my youngest kid is my daughter, Shaghayer. She's 27 years old. She just married in September, and she became a doctor. She is a OBG gynecologist, and she's her first year of residency, and she works in Roosevelt Hospital in Manhattan, New York, and she married to Peter, and he's such a nice boy, mm-hmm. And he's a orthopedic. He studied become orthopedic surgeon, and he's not a Baha'i. He is studying about the Baha'i faith. He's very interested to the faith. And my daughter-in-law, my son married to Jennifer, and her background was Catholic, and she got in love with the Baha'i faith. And she always says, I became a stronger Christian now. When I found out about Baha'u'llah, I felt that I'm more in love with Christ. And she feels that after she became a Baha'i, she is a stronger Christian. And she knows the Christianity more clearly now. And they are very active. And I'm so proud of them. They're wonderful kids. And sometimes I tell to my husband, remember our vision? We were thinking that is not fulfilled, because our vision is a time that everybody see each other as one family. And I always tell my kids that, remember, you are here for some reason, and we are all born to give love to other people and to bring unity to the world and see everyone as one. Mm. That's the beauty of the Baha'i faith. Mm. And I'm very worried about the Baha'is in Iran. And there is no day pass and I don't think about them. They have a very difficult life in Iran right now. I pray for them, but they know why they are there. They know why they're standing for, and they know that if the time comes, that humanity gonna understand this is one planet, and we are one people, and we are from same citizen. We are from same family, and we have to see each other as one family. I'm so proud that I believe in oneness, and I admire people. They gave even their lives for these ideas. There is no day past that I don't think about Mona. Mona is the youngest Baha'i were killed, were died for her faith. She and her 10 other women that they were arrested in Shiraz, they lost their lives because only they were Baha'is. And she was one of those 10 women, because she was the youngest. She requested to be last, to be hanged, because they were hanged in the suburb of Shiraz. They took them with the bus, they hanged them. And she requested to be last, to pray for the rest of the 9 women and girls that they were hanged before her. And she was praying for them. When the time came and then it was her turn to be hanged, she forgave her persecutor. She said that you don't know why you're doing this, but remember that God loves you and you still have time to understand why we are human. You're human because you have to love other people, you have to respect. We are not animal, we are human. And the man that hanged her, she quit his job actually. The person afterwards, he quit his job and he became a different person. He said, I don't want this job. And I heard he really changed, his life really changed. But Mona knew why she was dying. She knew that she's giving her life away to bring the world as one. And that's why I'm here. That's why I said to my kids, remember why we are here. We have to send this message to the world. We have to influence the people around us to bring people as one. I just want to say I give this talk to Mona. I know her dream was teaching the world about humanity, about the oneness of humanity. And I'm glad that I have this opportunity to tell to the world, to be in the radio. And thank you so much for asking me to send her message and Baha'u'llah's message to the world. That we are one family, remember. We should love each other, put aside the prejudice we have. I was witness the hate, what hate did in my country. And I see how that hate is spreading. But remember, the peace is more strong than hate. The love is more stronger than hate. We can spread the word of love and we can overcome the hate is growing. And this terrorism, all this nonsense that we see is because we are not working hard to tell that we are one family. We have to spread. No matter we are Baha'i or we are not. We have to put aside the prejudice and the hate and love each other dearly and sincerity from our hearts. And I told my kids that the time that I'm really proud of them, to see their lives is fulfilled, what they believe, how they gonna raise their kids, how they're gonna influence their friends, and to become better being as a human being. Thank you so much for asking me to be part of this. I just want, if you could pray for the Baha'is in Iran.
I asked Minoo if there was a prayer she would like to chant in her own language for the people of Iran.
الها معبودا ملکا مقصودا به چه لسان تو را شکر نمایم غافل بودم آگاهم فرمودی مورز بودم از اقبال تایید نمودی مرده بودم از آب حیات زندگی بخشیدی پژمرده بودم از کوثر بیان که از قلم رحمان جاری شده تازگی عطا کردی پروردگارا وجود کن از جودت موجود از بحر کرمت محروم مفرما و از دریای رحمتت من مکن در هر حال توفیق به تایید می طلبم و سماع فضل بخشش قدیمت را سائلم تویی مالک عطا و سلطان ملکوت مقام.
I asked Minoo to read the English translation of the prayer.
My God, my adored one, my King, my desire, what tongue can voice my thanks to thee? I was heedless, thou didst awaken me. I had turned back from thee, thou didst graciously aid me to turn towards thee. I was as one dead, thou didst quicken me with the water of life. I was withered, thou didst revive me with the heavenly stream of thine utterance, which had flowed forth from the pen of all merciful. O divine providence, all existence is begotten by thy bounty. Deprive it not of the waters of thy generosity, neither do thou withhold it from the ocean of thy mercy. I beseech thee to aid and assist me at all times and under all conditions, and seek from the heaven of thy grace thine ancient favors. Thou art in truth the Lord of bounty and the sovereign of the kingdom of eternity.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Minoo Moghaddam, a Baha'i from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, who escaped Iran soon after the Islamic regime took power. If you want information on the Baha'i faith specifically, you're welcome to go to the website www.baha'i.org. That's BAHAI.org. Or you can call the toll-free number 1-800-22-UNITE.